extending the league's longest active streak. Josh,
Yeah, I think that's the best way to start with this. Our fans, the atmosphere, awesome, incredible. Again, it's great to get home. We feel like we've been away for a bit. We got 7 of our next 10 or so at home. Hopefully, the Open Cup, we can progress in that. So it's a big part of who we are, and it certainly gives us fuel. And I think it was a big part of tonight. They fueled us. A lot of progress in this performance for sure. Some sloppy goals that we gave up, but the reaction, the response, the ability to generate chances as we've been. Certainly in some games we've been able to generate that, but we did a good job. Second half, we settled the game down. We controlled the game. And unfortunately, we get punished on a mistake, but that's what the game is about. And minimize those mistakes and take those opportunities when the opponent provides them. But the guys grinded and pushed. I think the reaction and response throughout this game was quite good. And it's disappointing. Ties at home are tough, but the 3 points were there. I mean, we certainly generated many more chances, many more clear-cut chances than them, and we got to take those chances a little bit more cleanly. But progress was made, and we got to reward ourselves with 3 points.
Go ahead, Phil.
So there's got to be some encouraging signs, obviously. Long scoreless streak is snapped.
Yeah.
Driussi scores. Rigoni scores. I think Redis has an excellent game. Just want to hear some of what you thought of from your attacking players.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think Rodney put in a good shift. Amy got a good goal from Rodney. I think the first half, again, it was good at times, and then it got a little bit sloppy. Or just with the ball, just individually at times was a little bit off. But I think the goal, I think it unsettled us a little bit. But we caught our breath there at the end of the half, and obviously when we came out in the second half, we had much more clarity as to how we could move them, hurt them, and again get balls in front of goal, get numbers in the penalty box, apply pressure. The set pieces again were extremely dangerous. Run a play, we created a decent amount. I think our expected goals was 2-3, 2-4, something like that. But you got to make these opportunities and take these opportunities. That's how you win games, and pleased with some of the progress, but obviously we need 3 points at home.
Yeah, and then obviously San Jose is a team that's historically scored on Austin. Ewell gets the goal in the first half, pretty wide open. Espinoza to Abobasi, second half, also pretty wide open. Just kind of thoughts on defense and shoring that up?
Yeah, I think the second one's difficult. Pepe's obviously one of our center mids. He's a little low on the field. It's a needless giveaway. I think he knows that. We know that. The reaction from the guys behind the ball could probably be better in the goal. I think Nicky could orientate a bit more closer to Alex at that point. And and when you're defending the penalty box at that point, it's man-to-man. I think Nicky could certainly get a little closer to Jeremy. But, the first half, again, we're leaving the middle of the field open, and Adam steps a little bit there. Probably not the right decision, so they played right inside him, and Jackson finished it. So fixable mistakes, poor mistakes. But the promising side is on the attacking side. I think as the game went on, we wore them down. We kept the ball. We got in line much more. We did a decent job with serving, not just crossing to cross, but getting numbers in the box, which is a big part of how you score goals, and the ability to suppress them. It gets a little bit odd at the end with some of the antics going on, but the guys held on and pushed, and disappointed to not win.
Zach, go ahead.
Rodney's obviously been with the team since the beginning.
Yeah.
So you saw something in him then. As these last couple games and tonight especially, maybe what you saw in him?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think he's a young man when he comes here. He's never left the country, and I think we look around the league at these YPSs, and 90% of them, it takes time for it to really take traction. So there are the anomalies where guys come in and kill it, but I think it's fairly normal, to be honest. So it's good to see him perform. I think he's had a few good performances as he's come in and been introduced as a sub. He hasn't started many games over the last 2 years. I mean, early on the first year he started a good bit, but getting a fair chance with the starters and getting some minutes. I mean, he works tirelessly in training. I think he's certainly aware of his role and responsibility inside the game. So I think he showed that tonight. And, I think the assist was good, but it was a good performance by him and Emmy as well. So I was glad for them to contribute and connect on the goal. But we're going to need more performances. We've got a lot of games coming forward. These guys are going to need to, obviously split some minutes as we get some schedule congestion, 9 games or 8 games in the next month. So we got to keep moving forward.
And then after Rigoni scored, did you take a deep breath and say finally,
To some degree, but it's, this is what football is. It's, they can come in streaks. They can be, again, at the end of last year, I think, if we're honest, I think all teams will go through some sort of dry spell. They'll go through some sort of poor dip in form, or they're not getting enough goals, or they're giving up too many. So, we hit a little lull at the end of last year, and then we obviously picked it up for the playoffs. But, we just got to learn from it, keep pushing forward. I look forward to getting, we have 3 starters that have been out for a couple games, and Julio's getting back into the mix. So it'll be nice to have a starting center back. Alex has filled in really well. Diego, hopefully in the next couple weeks he's back in, and I think Z obviously is for the entire year, but Alexander Radovanovic is ready to go, and I think Julio is ready to go. So these are games coming up that those guys are going to need to feature in.
Kirk Bowles.
First goal for Emiliano, though.
Yeah.
Is this a breakthrough?
I hope so. I mean, he said, again, I think he was one of our leading expected goals, expected assist guys the entire season. So I've used him in some different places to try to get him, better, closer to the goal, better areas, so that he's arriving in the penalty box better. So I think early on in the year he had he literally was our best, the leading expected goals for the team, and he wasn't able to take those opportunities. So those start to weigh on you. But I'm glad he was able to contribute in a few ways. He had a goal or two more in him. The one where he can probably go a little bit more to goal, be a little bit more aggressive, but. He was looking a little leggy, but these guys push. I mean, they got an incredible, capacity to run and compete.
Yeah. And getting goals from both he and Seb same night. Kind of what
Yeah.
you envisioned late.
You hope
last
so.
year, right?
Yeah, that's if you could draw it up. Maybe 2 apiece would be good, but that's just getting greedy. But good to see Seba get in there. I mentioned Seba coming out of the LA Galaxy game. He looked, getting back into his form. He was ready to take over that game. He was getting, beat up, not taken care of by the refs, and. You could see him taking it personal, but he tried to, again, continue to push on in that game, and his spirit is our spirit. So we go as he goes. You can see he's tireless. Got rewarded with a goal. We still got to, find ways to create more good chances for him. We can never score enough goals. I said that last year, and we scored 65, and we were 3rd in the league. But that's what this is. You got to find ways to constantly score goals. At the other end, be cleaner. I mean, those are mistakes. Those are really, really poor mistakes on our part, and we'll correct those and try to keep moving forward.
Colby and then Jorge.
Couple changes in the starting lineup. Just thoughts on those?
Yeah, I think it's looking forward. We do have games coming up. So I like I said, I think for Rodney and Adam to take part, with more of the starting group, get a more of a feel, and obviously they needed the opportunity. Rodney's been solid coming in as a sub a couple times. Training been quite good. Adam, introduction in LA I thought was all right. So it was good to get those guys minutes. We're going to need to disperse the minutes going forward here. We're going to hit a period here where we are Saturday, Wednesday for about 4.5 weeks. So pleased that those guys were able to get in there, and we'll keep helping them with their performances and obviously what we expect from them.
Jorge.
Josh, this 2-2 tastes like a victory for everybody, but the reality we did 2 points in April. What is the positive we can have from April?
Yeah, we got to keep getting better. I mean, ties don't do much good at home. I think we were trying to obviously get Will in there at the end to stay aggressive. I think April is past. Now we go into May. It's a busy schedule. We got Open Cup coming, so that's certainly a competition that's extremely rewarding. We got to go into that with everything we can, and obviously know that the games are going to come thick and fast, and we just got to keep preparing. And again, it's a performance to build off of. It was a performance worthy of 3 points. We let them off the hook, so to speak. But if we can keep doing what we did tonight and obviously clean up some of the defensive errors, I think we'll put ourselves in a good spot. We got to win some games though.
And bringing 2 number 9s and taking Ring out, it was like looking for the victory.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we were trying to get him in there for a little while, and then the melee at the end, I only think we played for like a minute. It didn't feel like it didn't feel like we were able to get the full 4 or 5 minutes that we were that they illustrated or gave. But yeah, the idea is to get Giassi's a box player, is good in front of goal, and so is Will Bruin. So that was part of the idea. You can do it a couple ways. Sometimes we'd move center backs up if we had Julio. That's certainly something that we would do. Leo possibly, but we had Will and we had an available sub, and maybe a touch earlier if we could have moved him in there quicker.
Corey and then Stu.
Coach, I'm just curious to know, did you like the way your team responded to that foul on Seba in extra time?
Yeah, I think it's it's indicative of the group. I mean, he's our captain, he's our leader. Again, he put in an incredible shift, and it's an unnecessary foul. And these things have been going on for a few games. I've mentioned it a couple times, the lack of protection and respect that he gets. But we got to keep moving forward, and it's good to see guys back him up there. It'll be interesting to see the clips and see what really took part. I'm pretty sure I saw and heard some things, and we'll leave it at that, but we'll see what the league finds in those situations. But always good to see the guys rally. There's nothing wrong with that. Stand up for your guys and be ready to be ready to act.
Stu?
Coach, you mentioned it twice before. Very busy May coming up.
Yeah.
I think you said 9 matches between MLS play and Open Cup play.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea on the team about who your so-called Ironmen are going to be that can play a lot, and who you're going to need to spell from now and again?
Yeah, they're all going to have to play a lot. I think getting Rado and Julio, Leo having 3 natural center backs. Alex will continue to play as center back and center mid. Pepe and Owen have had most of the minutes this year, so it was important to get Valencia in there with the starting group as well. The middle of the field, I think, has been kind of our workhorses. So we're going to need to divide that up a little bit. Johnny, Nick, Adam, Hector, we're going to need to, again, utilize some minutes, possibly some different structures based on getting some center backs back into the fold as well. So playing with 2 forwards at times, not just when it's really needed. So there's some opportunities and things we worked on at the beginning of the year that could help propel us into what this becomes, a really busy schedule that we're going to need to use different guys and I think ask different questions of the opponent, and the opponents will ask different questions of us. But I think Seba's got to continue to get good minutes, but we got to be mindful. Leo is someone that has a little abdominal stress to some degree, so we got to be mindful for him as well. And we want to get guys out there that are healthy and fit. We don't want to jeopardize anybody, but good to see Julio coming back, and then we got to introduce him in the right way as well.
Noah, and then Laura.
Hey, Coach, I remember last year you talking about how you divided the season into sections. Are you doing anything similar this year, and how would you kind of evaluate the first chunk here of the season?
Yeah, the first chunk is, I would say it was a slow start. We wanted a fast start. These ties at home kind of keep you stagnated. The next little period here is, it's getting into the warmer months, so it becomes a little bit more of a grind. The games come thick and fast, so the perseverance, the resiliency that's needed, but we also need the quality, the calm, and execution and performances. So we've got to push, for some good results going forward, without a doubt. We want to progress in the Open Cup, but first things first, we got a good opponent in Portland. It's always challenging to go there. Difficult place to play, good atmosphere, and I think they won tonight, so we'll go there and give it everything we got. We've had some one good performance last year there, certainly at the beginning of the year. So we'll regroup and see who we have available.
Continue about the busy schedule that is coming up for you. The alienation for tonight, it was very surprising for a lot of people. Do you think, or can you say that was like experiment for what is coming up for you guys?
I'm sorry, say that again.
So is the new alienation that you put tonight,
The new
like the alignment?
Oh, the starting 11?
Starting,
Yeah, the starting
yes.
11.
Was something that you will say that it was experiment for what is coming up for you guys?
No, I think we got some guys that were opportunities that deserved opportunities, and through the course of the season, you obviously you're not going to play the same 11 every game, but there are a few players that have performed well enough that should get a chance, and I think tonight that was we utilized this game to give a couple opportunities, but certainly going forward to have one set lineup is not realistic. We gotta use a lot of guys to preserve legs, but to keep guys healthy, and when they're coming Saturday, Wednesday, it's a matter of each game taking stock of where guys are and being mindful of the minutes that they've already logged. But it's a job. So these guys also have are in a good space to be able to deal with that. But we just got to be mindful of the minutes and certainly the travel.
About that, you say the good performance tonight from Rodney Redes.
Mm-hmm.
Why to pull him out when he's doing actually a good job tonight?
Yeah, I think he was doing well. I think we could use, Ethan, like Rodney. They come in, they give good verticality, they give good orientation in the wide areas and trying to get in front of goals. I think Rodney put in a good shift, and it was a matter of trying to get a little extra out of that right side at the end of the game. So, I think Rodney, ran his legs, and that's why we made that decision.
Apologies, we do only have time for 2 more, so let's go here and then one other.
Yeah, Coach. Just in regards to Rigoni, do you think playing on the left might actually be a better fit for him? He's started there the last 2 games.
Well, I think Diego's out, so it's also just trying to problem solve a little bit. I'd say that's one area where we need to add a player. I mean, we need something that's a little more true over there. But Emmy's been great. Like I said, he played. We lined him as the right wing. We played him in the pocket as an attacking mid the first 4 games, and again, his expected goals, assists were quite high. He had great opportunities. Even as a right wing, he's just when he's staying out wide, he's created opportunities. So I was glad to see him get rewarded. I think you can see he's quite good with his left. He's quite good with his right. So he has some positional flexibility. And given that we don't have another left wing, so to speak, we can always put Rodney over there, and Ethan's probably more preferred on the right. But we'll keep using him in different spots. Again, the idea that these games will come, we'll need to move some guys around and obviously take stock of freshness. But really, really pleased for him to get on the board. He works incredibly hard, and I'm sure he takes a lot of punishment because he hasn't scored enough goals. But he's a great dude, and he's gonna continue to perform for us.
Thank you.
And then we'll just do one last question here.
So you mentioned Julio and
If you wouldn't mind waiting for the microphone. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
so you mentioned Julio and Alex are coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Amr Tariq hasn't started since the Champions League game.
Yeah.
What's his status, and what do you see in the future for him?
Yeah, I think for Amro, it's been difficult. I think for him, in his own individual performance, I think he was gutted by what happened. He took probably a lot on himself for that, and part of overcoming that, like what we see with Kip, is he's now getting games in with our ATX2 team and doing well. So I think that's a bit of what Amro needs to some degree. He needs to just keep flushing it out of his system, and we got a lot of games coming up. So there's certainly going to be opportunities for potentially for Amro to play games, but he's training well, he's healthy, and if he gets his minutes, he'll be ready.
Thanks, everyone. Please follow